Hey everyone, welcome back to an episode of Create with Linda. Today is Friday, guys, and it's around 7:30 and it's late. We already had dinner. I'm coming on because I haven't updated you guys since yesterday. I haven't done a video or anything like that. Today was a hectic, crazy day. Billy had the other stent put in yesterday. Everything went okay and all of that. He still has one that needs to be cleaned out. Not a stent, but it needs to be cleaned out. But they're leaving that one. They're going to monitor it and see how it goes in the next couple of weeks or months or whatever. And if it increases any more, then they will clean it out. They're hoping that it will break up, that all the plaque will break up with the medicines that he's going to be on and all of that. So, but he's doing really good. We had a long day because they said he was going home today, and then the doctor waited through 5 hours for the doctor to come in. Doctor didn't come in till about 2:30, something like that. So we didn't get home till about 3:30. We came home and I was gonna order something, but I was like, you know what? We've been spending a lot of money these last couple of days with buying some, I was being very conservative. I didn't go overboard because we couldn't, but but we were buying little things here and there, so I didn't want to buy any food tonight, and enough already, So the kids were coming over. Julie was coming over, and Darren had to work late, so he didn't end up coming, but Julie was coming over, so I'm like, what am I going to make? I was going to make a pasta, then I was like, and I had chicken thighs, boneless chicken thighs downstairs in the refrigerator. So I took those up here. I used the barbecue. I put the barbecue on for the first time this summer. We didn't use it in the winter at all this year. Usually we do. So I took chicken thighs. I marinated them in a little bit of, I put a little bit of each, a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, lemon juice, and I'm using Dano's now. I didn't add any salt to this dish or any butter, right, guys? Isn't that weird for me? But yeah, everything's going to be used in moderation now, even for myself, because for everybody, it's just better. You just realize, all that stuff really does damage after a long time, and you just gotta, you can have everything just in moderation. So that's what it's going to be like now. So I put this on it. My husband loved it. And this is the Dano's, no sodium, 0 calories, all that. So this is perfect. So this is what I'm going to use. And if I use that, he said he liked it. The flavor was really good. And all he said he did was he did use a little bit of salt on his food, a tiny drop. And what I'm going to do is get the no salt. So I'll put all the no salt into the salt shakers. So we're gonna do all that. But everything is done in moderation, and it's going to take, it's not going to be overnight that he's going to change his whole lifestyle, but we have to slowly do it because this was obviously a wake-up call, and this was happening for a while, building up for a while. So he got a second chance at life, really, if you really think about it, guys, because it could have been worse. It could have been so bad. It could have been so bad. So I don't even want to think about that. But anyway, I am exhausted. I made dinner. So I made chicken. I made potatoes in the oven, round potatoes, canned round potatoes. I made string beans, and I made what else? String beans, potatoes, and chicken. That's what I made, and it came together in a half hour, 45 minutes. And we ate, and now I'm going to do some dishes. I'm going to do the dishes tonight. Billy would normally do them after I would cook, but he needs to rest tonight and all that. And, in a week or two, he can get back to doing little things here and there. But right now, he can't lift anything. Like, I have laundry downstairs. I had Frankie bring it up for me. I did the laundry today. Billy usually does the laundry because it's heavy loads and all that. But I put it in today before I went to the hospital, and it's in the dryer now, so I'll have my son bring it up. Billy can't be lifting garbage bags, put them outside or anything. My son's stepping up. I'm doing more, and we're just going to get it done and make sure that he recuperates and and all of that. So it looks like right now, as of right now, he's missing like 2 weeks of work. So I don't know. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. I'm going to wash these dishes. And then also we got a visitor, a very good friend of ours, of Julie's and mine, stopped over and they brought food. Look at this. Nice people. She brought a brownie cheesecake. Oh my God, it's amazing. We already had some. She bought these meatballs that I had gotten. I got these are Julie's favorite meatballs, and I got them for her rehearsal dinner for her as a surprise, and they brought a tray of these over. Look at them, guys. They're the most amazingest meatballs. That they have like a little sweetness to them. We love them. She brought a tray of those over, and she brought 2 Italian breads. Wow. So yeah, so we'll probably have this as lunches and all that. So that was really, really nice of her. So yeah, so we had that. But we were already eating our dinner, so we didn't have that tonight. But like I said, we'll eat it for lunches and all that. So I'm just gonna do these dishes. I'll chat with you a little bit while I'm doing the dishes. And yeah, I'm tired, but I've been sleeping okay, like at night, I by 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I'm like, I just gotta go to bed. Like, I can't keep my eyes open anymore. I'm gonna insert some pictures that I have of me and Cooper, and also of our dinner tonight. I took a little video of it, so there will be a insertion of what we had. I'll show you that. And I have some pictures of Cooper and Brody sleeping with me on the couch, and how I have this much room and they have this much room. So I got some stuff to show you guys and all that. So yeah, it's been a rough 5 days, but I'm really, I'm just, it's weird. You see things a different way when something bad happens. You just see things a different way. And just, we're very lucky. We really are. God is good. He really is. God's amazing. So I'm going to tell you something while I'm doing this. What happened the other day. So, the next day, when I went back to the hospital, he was going to have that procedure. And so I go to the hospital. They tell me to, my husband calls me. He's like, all right, they're going to be doing it in like a half hour. Take your time to get up, come up here and stuff. Because I wanted to see him before he went in for this procedure. Now, this procedure of people getting stents, I don't really know much about it. We didn't know much about it. All we knew is that it's in, all this heart stuff. You don't know what really everything entails. And to you, this is a big thing. This is a tragedy. Like, this is a big thing, a scary thing. The doctors and the technicians, whatever you want to call them, to them it's like changing oil. Like they change 40,000 oils in a month, whatever. It's like changing a car battery. To them it's very routine, it's very simple, it's not a big deal. To us it's a whole different story. So I wanted to see him before he went down for that procedure. And so when I got there, I was like a couple minutes late just getting there, and he said it would be a little while, and then they took him sooner. And I walk into the room, through the door, and I see that his room was empty, that he left already. And I was like, oh my God. The nurse met me right like halfway, and she's like, oh yeah, they just went back. And I said, oh no, I really wanted to see him. She's like, okay, well, let me just go back there. Let me see if it's okay for you to come back there. I think it is. She goes, and I'll come back and get you. So I said, okay. So let me go back a little bit. When I first saw her, right away there was something familiar about her. I was like, oh my God, like, it was just weird. Okay? So something was like it was weird. So she comes back to me, and she comes over to me with this warm look on her face. Really sweet, sweet lady. And she extends her arm out to me. She goes, come on, she puts her arm out. She knew I was like a wreck. I was like, all over the place. So I grabbed her arm. She's like, oh, just relax. It's okay. You can see him for a couple minutes before he goes in. He's just waiting there and everything. Very, very nice lady. So I thought to myself, wow, something is so familiar. And I'm looking at her. You got to understand, she was a nurse, but she had all these blue, like this whole blue outfit on, like as if she was doing surgery. It was weird. And she had a mask on. But I could see her eyes and stuff. But when I didn't really realize it until she spoke again as we were coming back out of the room. I saw him, we spoke, and and all that, we did our kisses and all that stuff. And then I left, and she took my arm again, and she left, and she brought me back to the room. And as we were walking back, she was talking to me. And all of a sudden I said, oh my God, this lady is so. And now, okay, so that right there, okay, I'm going to stop a minute. You know how you make certain connections with people? Now, I've been on YouTube a couple of years, a while, or whatever. I'm not going to say her name because I didn't ask her if I could mention her name. So, I'm not going to say her name, but one of my YouTube friends who I've become very close with, and who, for some reason, we have this bond. Okay, we have this bond. And it's like a connection of warmth and compassion and just very, very sweet, compassionate woman. She's younger than me, but very, very sweet and just very comforting, and we have this connection. She doesn't live in this country. I'll just say she does live in Canada. But, so anyway, I kind of needed that kind of compassion at that moment because I was a wreck. Because he was going into the room and I didn't know what was going to happen. You just think of everything that can go wrong. So she starts speaking to me again, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God. Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, she looks just like my friend. Not only does she look like her, it's one thing to look like somebody else because, well, there he is.
Hi, everybody.
It's one thing,
Thanks for good wishes.
He's doing well, and he says, thank you guys, he's doing really good, and don't you worry,
Thanks for the good wishes.
Thank you for the good wishes, and he has the warden on him, so don't worry.
I got the warden on me.
He'll be good. So, where was I in the story now?
I don't know.
Oh my God,
Talking
Bill.
about your friend that looks like your friend or something.
Yes, I forgot where I was in the story. Oh, okay. So I say to myself, "Oh my God, oh right. She doesn't only look like this. She doesn't only look like her. She sounds like her. And she has her mannerisms. She has her. And granted, you guys gotta know, we've never met in person. But I feel her from where she is, and I'm not even kidding. It's like an aura. It's weird. It's really weird and strange. But anyway." She continued to talk, and she did this one mannerism that this person does. That I don't understand how two people that look alike do the same thing, but it happened. And I was like flabbergasted. Like I was literally in shock. I'm like, oh my God, how could God, God is amazing to bring this lady in, to my world. At this moment that I needed that kind of compassion, and that I wish that this woman was my next door neighbor. I wish she was here. And how could he know that, to bring somebody that looks like her and sounds like her and has the same kind of compassion and aura that she has
At the time you needed it.
At the time that I needed it. Come on. You can't make this shit up. You can't. So I was like, oh my God. So she was so compassionate. I was in the room by myself for an hour and a half, 2 hours, waiting there. I got a bagel. I was nipping on the bagel, and I just was hanging out and I made a video, you guys, you know, that first video I made. And she would come in every once in a while. She'd go, are you okay? Do you need anything? Do you need ice? Do you need anything? Are you okay? And she was like very, very thoughtful and compassionate. And she came over to me. She put her arm on my shoulder, like just very, I just couldn't even believe it. And so she came into me later because I was waiting for Bill to come out. And she came in, and the minute she walked in the room, like her face wasn't like cheery or anything like that. I was like a little nervous because she looked a little concerned, you know. And she said, okay, he's out. She goes, he had three blockages. They could only do one because he was, he had some chest pains and stuff. He's doing fine. He's gonna come out in a few minutes. And I was hysterical crying because I was like, I kind of knew that he had to get stents. I knew that he had blockages because there was no way he didn't, you know. So anyway, I just lost it. I lost it. I was crying before that, I think. I lost it, and I just was very upset. And she was comforting me and like hugging me and just so sweet. I couldn't even believe it. Like, I just felt so much better, and I felt like this woman was with me. Okay, and it was really, really comforting, and I really needed that at that time, and it was amazing that, like I said, she not only looked like her, sounded like her, had her mannerisms. So then later on, after, I don't know what happened, I was walking around, and I saw her, and she came over, and I went over to her, and I said, well, listen, I said, I hope this doesn't freak you out. And I said, but you remind me so much of this good friend of mine, just like her. And I said, and I looked into her eyes, and I was like, oh my God, even your eyes. Like when I looked into her eyes, like it was amazing. And not only that, but like she didn't look exactly like her, but she looked like she was in her family. And when you looked in her eyes, it looked like my friend. Like, and then when she spoke, and I would hear her in the hall. I would be sitting in the room because she's a nurse. She's the head nurse, and she was walking around, and she was talking. I was like, oh my God, this is so freaky. This is so freaking freaky. And I went right to my phone a little while when I was relaxing in the room with Bill. I went to my phone and I messaged my friend. I was like, oh my, or I think it was even before that. It was before he was even back. I don't remember. Anyway, I was messaging her and I was telling her, and I couldn't believe that this happened, and it was just like so comforting, and she was freaking out. She's like, oh my God, can you get a picture of her? I didn't ask her because I felt kind of awkward asking her for a picture, but I told her, I said, you know, I don't want to freak you out, but I told her the whole thing, and she's like, oh my God, that's so unbelievable. She goes, that really is, you know? I couldn't believe it, and the whole day. And I was hoping like she was going to come back, you know, because sometimes they do like 12-hour shifts and then they come back for the next one or whatever. She never came back when we were still there. I was so upset. Because I really didn't get to say goodbye to her or anything, and I wanted to. But anyway, yeah, so that, and it just made me feel so much better. And it was like God sent this angel down. You know, like when you see in movies, like when you see somebody, you know, an old man comes over, he ends up, you know, talking to you, and then you turn around, he disappears, and you end up realizing that was Santa Claus. Like, that's what it was like. It was like, I almost felt like she was just put there for that reason, you know, and just, it was amazing. It was amazing. And her name was close to my friend's name. I'm sure I'm going to be able to tell you. I don't think she'll mind, but I want to make sure that it's okay that I mention her name before I say it. So anyway, amazing, guys, and that really helped me that day. And I just wanted to tell you guys, and I had told you guys that I had something to tell you, that, you know, I couldn't believe that like, it was amazing that God intervened in that moment and like put this lady in my path, you know, when I really needed it. And so God is good. God is good. God is so good to us. It could have been so much worse. It could have been a tragedy. A tragedy that you hear people talk about. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna go with it, and, you know, and we're gonna you know, just make some slight changes, and just because it was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call, you know. You know, it's amazing how you beg for God for things, for trivial things that might not be trivial, but they are maybe, you know, but they're not trivial to you. And then when something like this happens, you're like, how could I have ever prayed for that? Like all I cared about was that my husband was going to be okay, because you see everything that's on the horizon that you can lose. And I'm not talking about materialistic things. I'm talking about companionship, love, and security, and just not even security, but just him, like our life, you know, like terrible, really terrible. So anyway, I thank God. I thank all of you for all your support. My family, my friends, my YouTube friends. You guys are considered my friends. Strangers, just really, really people reaching out and really being helpful. And we're very lucky. We're very lucky that it went as smooth as it did. And so now he has one other one that has to be, that's clogged up still, but it's only 30%. So the doctor said we're gonna wait and see what happens. It'll probably break up itself, and if not, he'll go in as an outpatient and have that done. But like I said, we're gonna wait. We have to wait a couple of weeks to a month or something. So I have fruit in this, and it keeps getting stuck in the straw. So, guys, so I made dinner tonight, right? I made string beans. Normally what I do is I cook the string beans in a little bit of olive oil, which is good. A little bit of olive oil, and then the last minute I put, you know, the fresh garlic, and then I put like a tablespoon of butter or two. So tonight I didn't use any butter, real butter. I didn't use any butter. I used just olive oil, and I didn't put any butter in it. I put a little bit of lemon juice, because lemon juice is a really good thing to put in, you know, to season up your stuff. And that was all I put in the string beans. I didn't put any butter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use less than half of the butter I used to use. I'm going to be very cautious with the butter. I'm going to use it a little bit to flavor the food. But I'm also going to be using much more herbs again, fresh herbs, especially that my garden's going to be up soon. I'm going to be doing that. That'll season a lot of stuff. And I'm going to be using the no salt Danos and Mrs. Dash and all that stuff. And I was really surprised and happy that my husband actually liked it. I was very excited. So he's all up for it. He's going to, you know, try to really, you know, take a stand with himself and try his best at quitting smoking when he smokes, and just, you know, all that chocolate. And we didn't really realize how much that really, it just clogs your arteries. So everything in moderation. You know, I was reading, I was Googling it today, and in the hospital, and I was looking at stuff like a heart healthy diet and all that. And so it's just going to be a good thing. It's going to be a good thing, you know. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm pretty good with flavors, and I could definitely, you know, I'll experiment and stuff, and I'll be able to the food will taste good. You don't have to worry about that. I'll make it taste good and it be healthy. So, and you know, we are not going to live a life of never having a donut or never having, you know, a piece of cake, like a piece of brownie. It's not going to happen. And that's our choice, and that's my husband's choice. Like, he knows the situation. If he chooses to have a Snickers bar or a Reese's Pieces bar once a week or once every couple of days, that's his choice. I can't do anything about it. Do I want him to? Oh, no. It's the same with me, like with diabetes. But you can't dictate to people what they can do. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, guys, if you understand that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So, he loves himself enough and his family he knows that he's got to make changes. And he wants to make changes because he hasn't felt good. He hasn't felt good in a while. So it was brewing, it was there, and it was just making him heavy. He felt heavy, literally. And that's what it does, I guess. But anyway, that's what's going to be happening. So if you guys, I just want to tell you on my channel, you guys know that sometimes I have trouble with people who kind of, stick their nose in and say, oh, you shouldn't do this, and Linda, you did this, and that's all well and good, and everybody has their own opinion. You guys know how I feel about that, and I don't mind suggestions. I told you that before, but I don't like criticism and criticalness, and don't be telling me that I can't have, my husband can't have this or whatever. This is our life, our bodies. I understand your concern. I don't want none of that negativity stuff. And if I do get any negativity, because right now I'm really just not into it. I mean, I'm not into it at all. I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna block. That's it. I'm too stressed out with everything that's going on in the world, in our life. There's a lot more things to worry about. And if I see a negative comment, I'm not even gonna respond. I'm just gonna block. And that's what I did the other day. I had a negative comment. I don't even remember what the hell it was. And I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't even care. I just blocked. I didn't even respond to anything. It was like three words in a sentence, and it was like ridiculous. So I just went to the thing, and I deleted it. I blocked the page from going on. And that's it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm not wasting no time on none of that shit. Especially the way life is, and just life is short. Life is too short. Just whatever. So that's it, guys. But I love all of you, and I appreciate all of you. And like I said, if it's coming from a good place, I have no problems with you saying to me, Linda, maybe if you do this, or something like that. Not, well, why don't you try not using sugar, or why don't you try laying off the baking or something like that. That's not being nice. That's being rude. It's not being a nice person. So those things I don't have time for. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about that. You guys know that. And anyway, moving forward. My husband and I are going to be doing making some changes, which is funny that because we wanted to go walking, we want to do all that kind of stuff. So we're going to start incorporating that stuff into our lives, and start making changes. And I'm the cook here. Everybody eats what I make, so I have control. So I'm gonna I have to be really the one to step up and to do it. And like I said, all I care about and they care about is that we enjoy our life and we eat the foods that we like and we want. And and if I have to modify them, I'll modify them, and I'll modify them to the way that we like them in a healthy way. And are we going to be perfect? No. There's nobody perfect in this world except Jesus. There's nobody perfect. So are we going to be perfect? No. Are we going to make mistakes? Yes. Are we going to fall off the wagon? Yes. Once in a while we're going to fall off the wagon. So it is what it is. We're not perfect humans, but we want to enjoy our life and live our life. And everything happens for a reason. I believe that. Everything happens for a reason. So that's that. So that's what we're going to be doing moving forward. So I'm going to take you along on this journey, another journey of eating healthier and navigating it all and how it's going to go and all of that and all the imperfections of it. And you're just going to come with me, and that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm going to do. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. I think you will. I'm still going to be cooking. My husband still loves his food. We're going to continue what we're doing, and because the next phase in our life is grandchildren, and we are very excited for that. Lightening our load as far as living and all that kind of, condition and all that stuff, and just enjoying our life in the late 50s like we planned on doing, But you really don't realize how much somebody is important to you, or what you have. And I'm not talking about mere materialistic. I'm talking about, like, I wouldn't care if I lived in a shoebox and I still had my husband and my family. I wouldn't care. Like, I've been in that position before where I'm like, you know what? If we have to live on the street, I don't mean literally, but if we had to, if I had my family with me, I wouldn't care where I lived. I wouldn't care if I lived under a bridge, as long as I had everybody I loved, and the other stuff comes after. And so, there's always going to be ups and downs, and we fight every day. And we're struggling now. We were struggling a little bit financially before this. Now, if this is something that will come in and shake everything up again, of course. And, it just is what it is, guys. You can't do anything about it. Can't worry about tomorrow, because I got news for you. Being in the hospital and having all this over our heads for the last 5 days, I didn't care what was happening anywhere. I didn't care. I didn't care if, I just didn't care about anything. I had nothing else on my mind than my husband and getting this situated, and my kids too. Nobody could function because everything was like up in the air, and we didn't know what was wrong, and then we didn't know if it could be fixed, and then we didn't know this, and we didn't know that. So, we were all of us on edge. Everybody was just like out of it, because it was just really scary. It was really scary. It wasn't until yesterday, when he had the last one fixed, that we were all at ease after it was all over, because we knew he was okay. We knew that he was on the way to recovery. He was going to be okay, and that it all, the procedure went well. Because, when somebody was in for a procedure, like I said, they know how safe it is. They know they do it every day, this and that. So they're not bothered by it, because they know they're going to be okay 95% of the time. In case something happens, because they always tell you, oh, you never know, something could happen. You know all that. Okay, they know it, but you don't know that. So half the time that I was in that room and crying, because I was a nervous wreck. I didn't know what was going to happen. Was something going to happen on the table? Was he going to cold? Was he going to this? Was what, did they going to, I don't know, a blood clot, anything. You just worry. So I was really upset. I think I told this story the other day, but I'll tell it again for people who haven't seen it, haven't seen the other video. So, the nurse comes in, after the nurse comes in and talks to me, and I calmed down a little bit, and I was still kind of upset. I called my kids, and I was talking to my kids, and my kids, were very, Frankie and Julie, and they were very, they helped me and calmed me down and all that. And then I'm sitting there waiting for Bill to come back in the room, and he comes back in, and I see them bringing on the gurney, and I'm like, oh. So I went to look, and he was in the bed laying there like he just had a spa treatment. I'm not even kidding. Like he just came out of like a masseuse or something. He was like relaxed, and his color looked good. The only thing that didn't look good was his arm, because his arm. Did you take a picture of that or anything?
What?
Did you take a picture of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to show that anyway. His hand was disgusting. I can't even tell you. But anyway, he was like, and he looks at me and he goes, "What's the matter?" And I said, "What?" He goes, "What's the matter? Why are you crying?" I said, "You're asking me why I'm crying? Are you for real? Do you realize that what just happened? Like, you know, you had to do this procedure. I didn't know what it was about, really. You had some issues in it with chest pains and all this other stuff. And you you come out and you ask me what's the matter? Like, I wanted to choke him like a chicken. So I said to him, I said, then he realized that the nurse had come in and told me what had happened while during the procedure, and he didn't know that. So he didn't even know what had happened because he was out. He was, you know, out of it a little bit. So we explained to him what, and he was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. He goes, oh. But I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, there's so much more that goes into it than just him having this procedure. You know, it's just, and then the 12 hours we got in the emergency room, waiting for that, and then waiting all until 4 o'clock in the morning for them to tell us, you know, he definitely had a heart attack, and then he had to stay, and they were gonna, you know, have to check him out for everything and all of that. And I wanted to stay until the morning, until it got light out. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, and Billy insisted I go home. I didn't want to leave his side because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going on, but I was so exhausted, and there was really nothing else I could do because he was going to go up to the room, and we thought he was going up to the room. He did go to a room, but it wasn't upstairs, and they weren't going to let me go up there. So I had to go home. I had no other choice. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, and you got to understand something. I'm not really a night driver anymore. Like, I could drive at night if I have to. I could drive, and I'm okay. But I was so tired. I was disoriented, and I got in the car to leave, and I literally, it's a really, really big hospital, like a long parking lot and everything. So it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to get out of the parking lot, and I made the wrong turn. I went left instead of right, and I ended up at a dead end, which was like this secluded place. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, oh, holy shit. So 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm lost in the parking lot. So I turned myself around. I didn't panic. I turned myself around, went the other way, and got right to where I needed to be. And it was fine. But very, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning, it's dark. You know, it's different than it is in the daytime. It's dark, and I like almost missed my turn, and it was really no fun. So anyway, I have been exhausted. You know, I've been getting up in the morning, doing what I have to do at home, being at the hospital with him, and like people say, oh, you didn't have to stay there the whole time. Yeah, I had to stay there the whole time. I'm going to be there with my husband. I'm not going to not sit there with him. If he's got to be there 12 hours or whatever, you know, I'm going to be there with him. Because we didn't even know what was happening. We didn't know everything. And it was just important to me to be there, and I didn't want to be anywhere else. So, but, you know, it takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on your physical being. It takes a toll on your emotional being. But when I would come home at night, you know, I didn't video or anything. We would eat something or whatever it may be, and then I'd sit and maybe look at some videos and just hang out a little bit, and then by like 11 o'clock, I'm ready for bed. Last night, I was just so tired. I was like ready for bed. Brody was here, and so I had to fight Brody and Cooper for the couch because guys, between you, me, and the lamppost, and all my subscribers, I guess, who watch me, I just could not sleep in our bed until my husband was home. I couldn't. I went in my room and I got a knot in my stomach, and I just couldn't even. I'd go in there, change, and do whatever I had to do, and then come right back out. And I slept on my couch with my dog and my Sophie blanket, and that's where I slept. And I will sleep in my bed tonight because hubby will be home. I couldn't sleep in the bed. I couldn't sleep in the bed. Not till I knew everything was okay, and I just couldn't do it. So anyway, so everything's going to be back to normal tonight. He has to, take it easy, no lifting, no anything like that. So I'm putting the load on, and my son's stepping up, and, my daughter and all of that, and, and that's it. And that's what we have to do. We have to do that for each other. And because, if we want him, if we all want to be around, and we all want to, have to do these things. So that's where it's at. Thank God. You know, you just be thankful for how lucky this is gonna like tumble. How lucky we know we are and how much worse it could have been. And it's crazy because he really should have went to the hospital Saturday, because Saturday evening is when it started. Like, how lucky was he? You know, a lot of people just drop dead, or a lot of people just, you know, they're not as lucky. He was given a warning and didn't listen to it, and then got another chance. So, you know. Like, don't ever say that we weren't lucky. We were lucky. You know, and it just wasn't our time. And thank God. Because I don't even want to go there. So yeah, so that's the story, guys. So I'm just going to finish cleaning up. Get what I can get done, and then I gotta put this. I have chicken legs that I have to put away for Cooper, and I'm gonna relax, get my pajamas on, and sit with my hubby, watch the Yankee game, and yeah, Jenny hasn't been here. Jenny didn't come to the hospital. Jenny didn't. You know, I didn't give her all the information because I didn't need her to worry, and she doesn't know how to rationalize things. So we just told her some things, and then she knew Dad was in the hospital, and she spoke to him a few times. And you know, she's gonna come over Sunday. I'm gonna pick her up after breakfast. She's gonna come over and spend the whole day. She could spend time with Dad, and she'll eat with us and all that. You know, because it's a lot for her. It's a lot for her to understand, to navigate, to handle, and it's a lot for us, you know. It's a lot for us because she's a handful, but we love her to death, you know that. But yeah, so she's excited for that. She didn't want to come over tomorrow because she's doing stuff on Saturdays. They tend to do stuff with the girls together, all together. Like the staff will take them out, you know, they'll do stuff like that. So she doesn't really like to come on Saturdays unless she has to, unless, you know, whatever. But, yeah, so she's going to come Sunday. That's a better thing. And so that's what we're going to do. Those are our plans. So tomorrow, I'm not sure if anything, if we need anything in the house, I'll run to the food store by myself and get a couple of things, whatever we need. We just might need a couple of things, nothing big. And whatever it is. And then we'll just be relaxing and hanging out. He's got to relax for the next couple of days. You know, I don't want him doing anything crazy. I just cleaned this whole sink out. Now I'm dumping this in with chicken. So yeah. But I'll be on tomorrow. I'll do some vlogging. You know, more than likely I'll do some vlogging. I'll definitely have a what's for dinner. Oh yeah, actually, I'm gonna definitely have a what's for dinner tomorrow. But I might do some vlogging and stuff too. All right, guys. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was different. But I figured I'd come on and give you a little something. And, something. And, that's that. So, thank you so much for coming into my kitchen. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Because when you subscribe, you really help my channel grow. Don't forget to hit that notification button and the bell when you can, because this way you know when I put up a new video. Like and share and comment down below. And thank you so much for coming into my kitchen with me and creating. And all your support. Thank you, everybody, for all your support and your super thanks. So appreciate it, guys. It's so helpful. If you want to know, if you want to support my channel or anything like that, you could go to my About on my page, and it has all my information there, my email, all my information. So that's what you could do. And that's it. And thank you so much, guys. I love you. Thank you so much again for your support. Couldn't have done it without you. And I love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. I'm going to go get my pajamas on. Maybe make a cup of tea later. I don't know. Or some iced coffee. I'm not sure which way. Do I want to go hot? Do I want to go cold? I'm not sure yet. Right now I'm drinking my iced tea. My Crystal Light iced tea. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Love yous. I hope everything's well with you guys. Bye. Love you.